What's up, everybody? I'm Andy, and today I am at Soto Park, just a little bit outside of St. Petersburg, Florida. This is actually one of my favorite beaches in the entire area because it is undeveloped, unspoiled. You're not going to find big condos and hotels and all that stuff. A couple of fishing piers, a couple of snack bars and bathrooms, and an old Spanish-American war fort that we can go check out. So come along with me while we go explore Soto Park. Soto Park is on an island at the southern tip of Pinellas County, just a few minutes from downtown St. Petersburg. This beach was named Best Beach in the United States by TripAdvisor in 2009 and Best in the U.S. in 2005 by the country's foremost beach expert, Dr. Stephen Leatherman, who publishes his best beaches in the world list every year under the name Dr. Beach. But once a beach wins his top spot, he retires it from future nominations. So even though 2005 was a long time ago when this won, this place still ranks among the nation's best. Entrance to the park costs $5 per car, plus a couple tolls on the way in. What makes this place so special is that while so many of Florida's beachfront now is lined with homes, hotels, and high-rise condos, you won't find any of that here at Soto. It's been mostly preserved to give us all a chance to escape into old Florida. One of the things I really love about Soto Park is that you can see this does not have hotels, doesn't have condos. It's one of the few places left in Florida, really, where you can come out to the beach and still have the seagrass and the dunes and the trees, and you can kind of get away from it all a little bit. And it's just outside of St. Pete, and St. Pete is a very densely populated area, and all the beaches there are just very touristy, very crowded. But Soto doesn't really have all that. Like, look around me right here. The water is right there. There's dunes right here. There's a little nature trail right here. I'm seeing signs here for watch out for gopher tortoises, and that's pretty cool that you've got a place like this so close to downtown St. Pete that is still pretty much left to nature, and that's a great thing. We don't have enough of that in Florida right now. One of the really cool things about this park, outside of the beaches and the fort, is that there are two fishing piers here. There's a really long one that goes out into the Gulf, and there's a shorter one right here behind me that goes out into Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay one right now, though, is closed. It looks like they actually might have demolished the old pier and are building an entire brand new pier. So right now, for the time being, you can't go out there. But when it does reopen, it's a great place to catch mackerel in the springtime, and it has really, really great views of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in the background. So right now I'm walking a little bit south right now. I'm going to try to find a really good view of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Very big famous bridge that crosses Tampa Bay between St. Pete and like the Sarasota, Bradenton area. Usually you can see a really good view of it from the Bay Pier, but the Bay Pier is closed right now, so I'm going to walk a little bit further south to show you guys what the view of the bridge looks like over here, because it is spectacular. Right now it is President's Day today. It is about 78 degrees, blue skies, picture perfect conditions. We are just outside of St. Pete, and turning around here, there is almost nobody here in this side of the beach. I think there's a little more people over there, but right here where I'm looking at, there's nobody here. So great spot to come if you just want to get a piece of the beach yourself. You're not going to find stuff like this over in Clearwater, that's for sure. I've been to Soto a bunch of times before, but I've never really taken the time to just go off exploring on my own. Usually I'm either at the beach or just the fishing pier, sometimes the bike trails, but I've never really been to this side of the island before. And I just found these cool little walk-off spots here. Just like, look at this. You walk through here and just a little trail that takes you to a rock where you can just sit here and watch the world go by. Fort DeSoto is a pretty good place to kayak too. You can bring your own and you can launch from a few different spots, or you can rent them right here. I have a funny story to tell you guys. When I was kayaking here by myself, I'm out there all by myself, very flat water, very calm, very chill. I'm just relaxing, just enjoying the vibe. And then I hear this noise and it startled me pretty good. I turn around and there is a dolphin 5 feet away from me, just playing with me, just blowing its blowhole. And I got kind of startled, but then when I realized what it was really, really cool. And this dolphin was just kind of hanging around with me for a few minutes, checking me out, and then disappeared. So that was pretty neat. Manatees are in here too. I've seen manatees, dolphins, all kinds of cool stuff. And you can rent kayaks right here, or you can bring your own and you can launch them near the front of the park. And of course, no trip to Fort DeSoto is complete without visiting the fort itself. The fort was built back in 1898 during the Spanish-American War to help protect Tampa Bay. They put in these giant mortars aimed right at the bay, ready to open fire if anyone tried to invade, and from what I understand, nobody ever did. The fort actually did see quite a bit of action in World War I and World War II, serving as a training center and a sub-post for MacDill Air Force Base. But after the war, they decommissioned it and turned it into a park. Now it's a great spot for exploring and walking around and just soaking in the history. And even though it's a park now, you can still see a lot of these old military structures and artifacts. There are these huge concrete batteries, gun emplacements, and even the remains of some old barracks. And if you're really interested in the history, there's a small museum here with a lot of little exhibits that tell the story of the fort's role in protecting Tampa Bay. And there's a great view from the top, so let's go up there and check it out. The view from the top of the fort is definitely worth the climb. There's some stairs on one side and there's a pretty steep wheelchair accessible ramp on the other side, but definitely do it if you can. You've got a great view of the pier up here. There's views of downtown St. Petersburg over there, views of the beaches. You can see ships coming and going, see the lighthouse at Egmont Key, all from that elevated vantage point. Right behind me here is the Gulfside Pier, and it's a really popular spot for fishing, but even if you don't fish, definitely come out here and take a walk. I've seen manatees hanging out underneath here, and it's a really popular spot for dolphins too. And right across the channel here is Egmont Key, and there's another fort on there with a lighthouse and with other cannon structures and things like that. I guess the whole idea was to put some mortars there, some mortars here at Fort DeSoto, so if anybody tried to come through here, they could hit them from both sides. And from what I understand, no one ever attempted to attack Tampa Bay, so I guess that was a pretty good strategy. The piers are open every day from 7 a.m. to sunset and gives you the chance to catch lots of different fish like snook, redfish, snapper, lots of mackerel, and even the occasional tarpon or shark can be caught from here. If you forgot your bait or your lunch at home, don't worry because there's a bait shop and a little snack bar here. And there's Fort DeSoto souvenirs if you want to take something home. Let's go take a walk out there and check it out. Finally, let's head over to the North Beach at Fort DeSoto. If you're coming here for a day at the beach, this is really where you want to be. I think this is one of the prettiest beaches in Florida, and it still somehow manages to fly under the radar for a lot of people. It's just a short walk from the parking lot, over these walkways that will take you over the dunes to these picture-perfect white sand Florida beaches. Well, I think that is about to do it for our trip out here to Fort DeSoto today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a couple things about what is probably one of my very favorite beaches here on the west coast of Florida, because as you can see, there isn't really much here except the sand, the dunes, and the water. Great place to get away from it all and chill out in what is one of the last few remaining wild places in Florida here that hasn't succumbed to hotels and condos just yet, and hopefully it never does. And if you like this video and want to see more content about fun things to do in Florida, please subscribe, like, and hit that bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks a lot.